This is a case of aphakic retinal detachment. We have completed the vitrectomy at this point of time, putting a PFCL and a fluid gas exchange. And now I'm trying to do a base excision under air. And as you can see, I'm just excising the, and suddenly you see the choroidal pouting out at this point, but raising the pressure, again it's back. And I'm completing the thing. I'm trying to remove the vitreous and drain the fluid, and now a PFCL last part I'm about to drain, the last part of the bubble, and suddenly you see on the temporal part, keep an eye on the temporal part, and you see a choroidals. Now you have choroidals over there. I finished off doing minimum lasers in the, restricted it to the just breaks, and then pushed an oil and could get out. So that's what exactly went wrong at this point of time is what the house is open for discussion.
Comments from the panel? So why do you think you got the choroidal detachment?
Yeah,
I think sometimes the cannula, the infusion cannula just in between the surgery sometimes comes off, and if there's already a mild choroidal effusion there, that also aggravates it. But at times even with a normal choroid, you could just have the infusion cannula slightly tweaking off and creating that is one of the likely possibilities.
It was air which was pushing it, going inside the eye at that point of time, and I had confirmed it, and then suddenly it happened.
So Prashant, why do you think it happened?
That's what I would expect all the panelists to help me out with this. I think there was a bit of hypotony. It's well established that in aphakic, when you're trying to do a peripheral base excision and all, especially during fluid gas exchange, these choroidals can precipitate. Why? That's a question which...
Did you have valve trocars?
No, it was not a valve trocars. We don't use.
Any other comments? Were you doing a procedure while you were under air?
Pardon?
Were you doing a procedure while you were under air when you got the choroid?
I was trying. I had finished off the complete vitreous excision. Then I had put a PFCL, and then air I started pushing. At that time, we start doing a bit of peripheral vitreous curve, whatever residual vitreous is there. At that point, I suddenly realized. And then again, by increasing the pressure, that minimal choroidals had disappeared. And then when I about to drain the last part of a bubble, we could see a big mound.
So I think this is a great case of showing one of the advantages of having valved trocars, because, under fluid, you still maintain the pressure, but when you're under air, even with pressure of 30, even if you go 40, and I think this was a 23 gauge, am I correct?
Exactly.
And that's even, the opening is pretty large, so then the eye gets soft. So question from the panel, what do you do different when you get a choroidal detachment? Wai Ching? During the case, do you do anything different during surgery? You get in choroidals, do you do anything different?
So for this case, at the end of the case, you probably don't do anything different. You probably just carry on and finish the case. However, if this happened in the middle of the case when you are still managing your detachment, then you should, like was done already, to try to find the reason for the detachment and for the choroidal to elevate it, whether it's the pressure or a hemorrhagic one. If it's a hemorrhagic one, meaning that there's a spontaneous hemorrhage, then you should drain that and deal with it at that point.
I think one of the things you want to do generally, if you get a choroidal detachment, you're going to be much quicker in your procedure. You don't want to spend a lot of time. You want to do a lot of manipulation. And one of the other key points is you want to make sure the pressure is elevated. So if you're under fluid, it happens, higher pressure, make sure the eye does not get soft so that it does not get any bigger.